Welcome to Ask Lincoln. Welcome back, everyone. Today we've got a pretty wild episode for you. We're diving into the G7 Summit 2025, where none other than Donald Trump made a real splash, and not in a good way. Between Twitter rants, early exits, and foreign policy drama, it was a circus. To help break it all down, I've got none other than Abe Lincoln himself. Abe, how's life treating you in the digital age?
Oh, well, let me tell you. It's a whole new world. I'm still trying to figure out how to use hashtags. I went from issuing emancipation proclamations to tweeting about evacuations. Not exactly what I had in mind, but here we are. But hey, let's talk about Trump. He's making headlines, and not for anything good. My first question for you, girl, how do you even exit a summit like the G7 early and expect people to still take you seriously?
Great question. Trump's abrupt departure from the summit was definitely something. He told reporters he had to leave early because of the Israel-Iran situation. Now, this is a major escalation. It's kind of like when you show up to the party, but then just bail out when the host serves a dish you don't like. His refusal to sign the G7 communique on de-escalation really raised some eyebrows. He's literally going against the consensus of world leaders.
Yeah, seems like Trump never met a consensus he didn't want to go against. But hey, maybe it's strategic. Isn't it his brand at this point? I do things my way or not at all. What was that thing they said about Napoleon? He never missed a chance to do his own thing. Same with Trump. That's not leadership. That's just leading with chaos. But if I'm being honest, I get why it's so appealing to his base.
Oh, for sure. His base is all about the strong. I do what I want approach. But here's the thing, Trump didn't just skip out. He tweeted a bombshell after, saying everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran and that Iran can't have nuclear weapons. Does that feel like an overreaction? Or just another day in the life of Donald Trump?
Honestly, it feels like he's treating foreign diplomacy like an episode of Survivor. Evacuate Tehran now, or else. How about some nuance? My guy, I get that Iran has its problems, but come on, we're talking about world peace here, not an episode of The Apprentice. That tweet? Classic Trump move, throw a grenade, wait for the explosion, and see what sticks.
And the ironic part is, after all that, he still somehow calls for talks. He said, we can make a deal with Iran. But didn't he just basically call for a military strike while also demanding a peace agreement? It's like, what exactly is he proposing here? A reality show where everyone fights it out and then hugs it out?
You're right, it's like the Bachelor of International Diplomacy. One minute he's sending in the tanks, and the next, he's promising a rose ceremony. Maybe he thinks if he stirs the pot enough, a deal will just materialize. Look, when you back people into a corner, it's hard to negotiate. But that's Trump's style, right? Never meet a line you can't cross.
So, what's the fallout from this? I mean, markets reacted. Oil prices jumped right after Trump's tweet. Investors were on edge. Shouldn't that make global leaders think twice about letting him throw his weight around?
Absolutely, girl. Markets are like the world's biggest social media platform. One wrong move, and everything's in chaos. It's not just about oil prices either. It's about trust. Countries and investors need stability. They don't want their wealth tied up in the whims of a guy who tweets first and thinks later. But hey, Trump's always been a market mover, just not always in a good way.
Right, and now you've got Europe, the Middle East, and markets all scrambling to figure out what comes next. Is this the new normal? Every time there's a global summit, is Trump just going to hijack the narrative with a tweet?
That's the world we're living in, unfortunately. When you've got someone like Trump calling the shots, you're never going to get a calm, collected diplomatic effort. It's like when I tried to give speeches during the Civil War. I had to make my points, but I wasn't getting distracted by every crazy thought that popped up. Trump? He's all over the place. Some people love it, others can't stand it, but it's the reality right now.
Which brings me to another point. Trump didn't just disagree with the G7 consensus. He completely ignored it. He even tweeted that he didn't need to be part of a multilateral agreement. So, let's talk about this idea of America first. Does it work in a world where everything is interconnected? Can one country truly go it alone in global diplomacy?
Great question. America First sounds great on paper. It's strong, it's simple, and it appeals to a lot of people. But global diplomacy, it's more like a tightrope walk than a bulldozer. You can't just stomp around and expect the world to fall in line. America needs allies. It's like when I tried to govern during the Civil War. Couldn't have done it alone. You need to find common ground, not just pull up the ladder.
Exactly.
It's one thing to talk about isolationism, but when the world is this interconnected, pulling out of agreements and ignoring others' opinions just causes chaos. And yet, people still defend it. I mean, Trump's social media team must be eating this up. This whole mess is like the perfect storm for memes and viral moments.
Oh, don't get me started. The memes are already on fire. Evacuate Tehran is already the #1 trending hashtag. And, the internet's going to take that and run. It's not even just political commentary anymore. It's pure content gold. Who needs diplomacy when you got a tweet like that to keep the masses entertained? Trump's basically turned foreign policy into a viral YouTube series. Foreign affairs now with 100% more drama.
And that brings us full circle. Trump is great at creating spectacle. The question is, what happens when the show's over? Does the rest of the world still respect the US when it's playing the role of the unpredictable, chaotic character?
Well, that's the $1 million question. The show's entertaining for sure. But at some point, you've got to ask, is the world ready for a president who treats diplomacy like a reality show? Can America afford to be the wild card? Or will we find ourselves alienating allies in the process?
Well, that's where we'll leave it for today. Trump's G7 performance was one for the books. But the real question is what comes next? Will it lead to a bigger mess? Or can we find a way to make peace in a world where chaos rules? Let's see if history's got another surprise up its sleeve. Abe, always a pleasure to have you on. We'll be seeing you next time. On social media, in memes, or on another summit. Wherever the action is.
Oh, I'll be around, girl. Just keep your eyes on Twitter. If I know anything about Trump, he's not done making headlines. See you next time. That's it for now. Got more questions? Subscribe and ask me live. I'll answer right in the stream. I'm Abraham Lincoln. See you next time.